UFP, the United Federation of Podcasts.
Infinite diversity.
Live long and prosper, and welcome to Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on the United Federation of Podcast Network. I'm your host for today, Justin, and joining me are my incredibly newsworthy co-hosts, Chrissie and Brandon. So, Chrissie, how are you doing today?
I am doing very well. I'm looking forward to talking about all the news we heard about yesterday, and I'm wondering how we're going to find time to talk about it all in the next year and a half or 2 years, however long this is going to be going for constantly.
Yes. Yes, there is a lot to talk about. Brandon, how are you doing?
Justin, how about a big hug?
We could do that.
That was one of Q's lines. Didn't he say that to Picard once?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got it now. I was like,
I wish I did this podcast with Star Trek fans.
There are so many hours to reference. But yes, we are here to talk about some big news from First Contact Day, which is April 5th every year to commemorate that first contact with the Vulcans is coming in 2063. And this year, CBS did a lot of different panels, and we got a huge number of news and trailers and all that stuff. So
way more news than I thought we were going to get.
More news than Brandon thought we would get, so which is good news because it was great. Lots of stuff to talk about. So let's dive right into it. The first thing I wanted to talk about, which was the first presentation, it was special presentation announcement by Patrick Stewart. So we got a little bit of a teaser for Picard Season 2. It showed some interesting things, basically, in Picard's study and his belongings and things like that. But of course, it was revealed at the end, John Delancey's returning as Q. So that's something I think that had been rumored a little bit, but this is confirmation. I think it's quite exciting. But Chrissie, I just wanted to get your reaction to Q returning and, maybe things you want to point out you noticed in that little teaser trailer we got.
I was standing there. It took me a few minutes to get everything loaded up because I wasn't watching the episodes they had ahead of time. And so I didn't realize it wasn't streaming on Paramount Plus, which I think was a mistake on their part.
It took me some time to figure it out. And then I went to the website and I was like, oh, it's streaming there.
Yeah. They could have done both, but whatever.
Why wouldn't they should have done that, actually. Yeah,
I would think so.
Tell me,
but,
yeah.
Oh, well.
You open up Paramount Plus yesterday and there was an ad to watch the trailer for it. But there was no way to... Anyway.
Yeah. But I thought they might have had it on live on YouTube as well, but they didn't do that. It was just on the site. But anyway, go ahead. It took you a bit of time, but once you got to it.
But then I discovered that there's a browser on my smart TV, so yay. Instead of watching it on my computer. And so then I'm standing there and I'm watching it because we get it just in time to see the beginning of it. And Jay's there and we're watching it. And okay, teaser trailer, cool. And they're going through and we're seeing everything in the office. And what does it mean that we see a copy of Paradise Lost?
Ooh, I was going to ask you about that, but go ahead.
There I will have to admit my literary lack of bona fides. I've never read Paradise Lost. But, yeah, and there's the Stargazer, and there's the Enterprise painting, and there's the Enterprise from the Enterprise E room. And then we get to the card, and it's the Queen. And Jay goes, oh, we're going to see the Borg Queen. And then it dissolves. And I was like, that's going to be cool. And then it dissolves, and it's just Q. And I went, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then I had to go run out and tell my parents because my mother loves Q. And she's very excited. So.
Yeah, so as soon as I saw the Queen, I was like, oh, it must be Q, and then the voice came and I was like, oh, that's amazing. I did want to do one thing actually before I got your reaction, Brendan, because there was a little narration, which I think was interesting.
Oh, yeah.
That Patrick Stewart as Picard had. So he said, the true final frontier is time. Time can turn even our most impulsive, our most ill-considered actions into history. What we do in a crisis often weighs upon us less heavily than what we wish we had done, what we could have done. Time offers so many opportunities, but never second chances. So something about time travel or stuff in the past. And of course, Q can go anywhere, anytime. But Brandon, what were your thoughts when you saw this teaser?
Well, my first thought was that time is the fire in which we burn.
Yes.
I thought about that later. They could have said that.
The second thought is no second chances except for the fact that Picard died and came back to life.
Well, we can argue about what a second chance means. It's not a second chance for him to redo stuff. It's a new chance to do new things, I would think. But anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, even time travel and everything is all about second chances. Like, the First Contact, the movie, is about having that second chance to fix it, you know? Like, they lost, Borg went back in time. They got to go back in time to fix it, right? So, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's intriguing. It's absolutely intriguing, and I'm thrilled that we got this teaser trailer. I wasn't sure. I thought it was the wrong thing at first, because isn't that, like, fast pan in the exact same way that the trailer opened for season 1 of Picard, like into
I think so.
Place?
Yeah,
I'm like, did they have the wrong video?
Yeah, I saw that
funny.
because it's playing the same music and it's going into the the chateau building or whatever. But yeah, then it was some new stuff, and we won't talk about this. There's a lot to talk about, so we won't talk about this trailer obsessively or anything like that. But there is one thing I wanted to pull out among all of the different things that are in these scenes, which I was so excited about. And I think Trekcore had first noticed. So there's something on a table in Picard's study that looks like it's the smashed kind of reckoning tablet from DS9, where there's this, and I'm trying to remember because it's been a while since I've seen the DS9 episode. I think it was a tablet that had both like a Prophet and a Pa Wraith within it, and then Cisco smashes it because, I don't know, he feels that that's what needs to be done. And this tablet is in the trailer, so it seems like there's some kind of DS9 connection. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know, man, because I don't want to get my hopes up. But I mean, that seems like a very weird pull, because like that's hardcore into Deep Space Nine, right?
It
like,
really is. And it lingers on it for like a few seconds. So
yeah, like in my opinion, The Reckoning is like the most important episode of the series, you know, like it is super duper important. Reckoning and Rapture are the two most important episodes of the series, you know, and it's fascinating to do that, because there's, as much as I'd love to see it, there's not a chance in hell that we're going to get Avery Brooks back.
No, but
Doesn't seem like it.
No, it doesn't seem like he's interested. But my thought went to like, okay, if there's a DS9 connection, like who could we get that might be related to that? And I thought, well, maybe we could get Nana Visitor as Kira, or maybe we could get Jake Sisko. So, but it seems like if that's there's at the very least a connection where there's something important about that tablet in his journey in season 2, and I hope we get somebody from DS9 to bring it to him or something, right?
Yeah. I hope it's important, because I mean, there's tons of stuff in the trailer, right? Like there's tons of little Easter eggs in the trailer, and everybody's like, "Oh, look at all these wonderful things that we see," but not all of this stuff is going to be able to come into play into the show.
Yeah.
Right? It's just fun stuff that's been placed there.
And some of it's old
detail.
Callbacks too.
Right.
So
it's true, but it did feel like, and it could be nothing, but it did feel like with this tablet that it had a prominent place on that table, and it lingered on it for a little bit. And all the other stuff we've had reference to in Picard pretty much has been TNG or Voyager stuff, nothing DS9. So this seems like it's very deliberate. Like
that's
indication.
something there is no reason for him to have.
Right.
It's not like it's not like we're walking through Kira's quarters or Cassidy's
That should
house.
be on Bajor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just was thinking maybe we're going to see Cassidy and their adult child, because the kid would be like, the kid would probably be in their 20s at this point.
Something like that, 20, maybe even 20, almost 25, I think.
Yeah. So that would be an interesting pull, but we know, forgive me, the actress, she's Penny Johnson. She's still doing stuff.
Johnson,
she's over on Orville.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
What if? Oh my goodness! What if on Orville?
This is the best.
Penny. What if Cassidy Yates had to go into like a what do they call it? Like a witness protection program, and her job became like a doctor on this other ship, and then they tied the Orville into Picard. What do you think?
I would like that. A lot of people would be very unhappy, though.
I'm not much of a fan of the Orville, so I wouldn't quite like
well,
that.
You can
but now
call it an alternate universe, just an alternate timeline.
So, yeah. So anyway, I think that's really interesting. We'll have to see how it'll play out because, of course, as it says in the trailer, it makes sense because they just started shooting. It's coming in 2022, so it'll be some time before we figure it out, but I think it's interesting. One other thing I wanted to add, which was in the Trek movie article that I hadn't caught otherwise, is they said that Paramount Plus also revealed some information that Brent Spiner is returning, possibly as Alton Inigo Sung, as we saw him in season 1. We'll also have Jerry Ryan as 7 of 9, Michelle Hurd as Raffi, Santiago Cabrera as Rios, Issa Briones as Soji, Alison Pill as Dr. Girardi, and Evan Evagor as Elnor, which isn't too surprising. But it also said Orla Brady is returning as Laris, and I'm very excited about that. I love Laris.
Me too.
So, but also no mention yesterday of Whoopi Goldberg returning as Guinan, which Patrick Stewart had asked her about a little over a year ago. So interesting omission. I don't know. Hopefully it's still going forward.
I hope so too.
Because, man, I would love to see Q and Guinan again.
Yes.
Together.
Yes.
So
I think it would be a shame if they don't get her. I mean, like, yeah, they asked for her. Like, I remember when we talked over on the line, when we were on the line, like I told you guys how I reacted when I saw that video of Patrick Stewart asking her, right?
Yeah.
I literally burst into tears. Like, I was so excited and happy to hear that she was coming back. But I mean, like, I'm still excited yet just to see what story they're going to tell, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
They might not have wanted to overshadow John Delancey either. You know, although
That's
I guess
possible.
she still could have been in the list, but I don't know.
Okay.
You know,
and then it's not surprising they mentioned Laris and they didn't mention Zabin or Jabin because like nobody paid attention to him. Everybody was just all over Orla Brady.
I think Laris is more of a favorite character, but I love Jabon. I think he's cool and they're cool together. Yeah. So
I wanted to
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to mention two things. The horse statue that's on the mantle, that was mentioned in one of the articles. It's the same one that was on the mantle in Family.
Oh, okay.
So,
Good thing it didn't burn up.
Well, it appears to be made of metal, and the one in the trailer is beat up looking, damaged looking.
Oh, interesting.
So that kind of raised the hair on my arms about things recovered
like
from
it
the
could
fire,
have gone through the fire,
which goes through the time in the fires which we burn, right? And
absolutely.
Did you guys notice that the voiceover part when we saw the Stargazer model was about the regrets thing? The I can't remember the exact line. We regret the things we didn't do, or something like that, or things we could have done differently. So
yeah, I love the idea that we might get some on the Stargazer as well, like just some information, even some story, because like I love that that's a completely open area of Picard's past that is not really been explored in canon. Yeah, we got books, and I love Michael Jan Friedman's novels. I love what he did with those books. But, I mean, it's never been really touched on screen aside from a few shots in the battle, right?
yeah,
Right. Yeah. That would be really interesting. So there's a lot of potential for flashbacks or time travel, but we'll just have to see. I think we could go on and on speculating, but there's more to talk about here.
there is indeed.
So let's keep going because also we got a trailer for Discovery Season 4. I think this one is really interesting because they've been, shooting for, 4 or 5 months now. So they've done enough that they could put together a trailer with, actual footage from the show, unlike for the Picard one. And so basically, of course, we left off in season 1 that they had figured out the burn and we're good with that. But now in season 2, they're kind of going forward and there is a new kind of threat that's there, described as a 5 light-year wide gravitational anomaly that seems to be doing some damage in a lot of parts of the galaxy. And there's a lot of interesting, I think, shots in here. We see the crew of Discovery. They have some new uniforms with bright colors, which is really cool. I think they changed up the uniform somewhat from season 1 because the costume designer Gersha Phillips had said the gray ones blended a bit too much into like the walls of the ship. So that's why they have, but I love the really bright colors. So we have that. And there's some interesting characters. It looks like the Navarre president's in there. There's maybe a half Cardassian, half human character that might be a Federation president.
I saw people talking about that, and I was like, where did they make that connection? I mean, the Cardassian human thing, but
for the Federation president, I don't know. It could have been with what was going on with the Navarre president. But anyway, there's just a lot of stuff about what's going on with this, and they do talk about having to do things together, and they show, the ships that we saw at the Federation HQ and working with non-Federation. Anyway, there's like a lot of kind of stuff going on there, and it does talk about what the big thing of the season is with this gravitational anomaly. So, Chrissy, what did you think of this trailer?
You leaned real heavily into the soft reboot there. Did you realize?
What do you mean?
You were calling season 3 season 1.
Did I say one?
And you did call this season 2. You did say season 2 as well.
Oh my God. I was just so excited I mixed up the season. Sorry.
No,
yes,
no,
we're getting
apologize.
season 4.
That's okay. A lot of people wipe
TNG
TNG seasons 1 and 2 from their memories as well.
Which they should not.
They shouldn't, for no reason.
There's a lot of great stuff in there.
I agree.
Wow.
Anyway.
Wow, I wasn't paying attention to what I was saying, but go ahead,
No,
Chrissy.
I wanted to make sure if you didn't want to do that over.
Freudian slips.
It's fine.
Okay.
Justin really hates season 1 and 2 of Discovery. It's all coming out now.
Not true.
So,
Chrissy.
Yeah. Season 4. What did you ask me? What did I think about the trailer?
What do you think of the trailer?
I'm sorry. It was great. I liked the uniforms they had before. I like these new ones a little better, but they do look. They kind of remind me of the Monster Maroons in that they look uncomfortable. Now, Monster Maroon's my favorite uniform, okay, but it's also it looks like a dress uniform that you're wearing all of the time. And these kind of look like a dress uniform.
Looks like it'll keep you warm.
Well, and that's true of the Monster Maroons, and I like to dress in layers, which is one of the reasons that's my favorite. But
okay, interesting.
Yeah, so I think I always read that as the uniform is indicative of the type of time you're living in. Okay. Mm-hmm. The one piece uniform that was introduced in the first season of Next Gen, with no pockets, no way to carry armament if need. I mean, you had the little Velcro things they stuck on when they went on a away team. But that's very indicative. We're in a peaceful time, and you don't need to have stuff on you to deal with fighting. Okay. And so it's, I'm feeling that way with this too. I'm feeling like they're in a peaceful time. There's not a lot of potential for war at the moment, and so the uniforms are reflecting that.
Okay.
I know it's kind of weird, but that's where I go.
No, it's interesting. So, what did you think of the Discovery Season 4 trailer, Brandon?
I'm intrigued to check it out. I mean, I all they did was like reverse the gray outfits, and I'm like, I liked the gray outfit better. So, like the gray uniform that we saw at the end of the season, I honestly think that that's a better looking uniform than these ones. But okay. I mean, whatever. I guess at the end of the day, I don't really care. I don't know. I just think the gray. I think the gray was much nicer looking, though. But there's a lot there. But again, it's just a lot open to speculation and whatnot, and it's going to be interesting to see where they go and where they take it. And I'm just looking forward to more world building and more exploration of this future timeline. You know, of this finding out what's going on 900 years in the future, and what's going to happen now that do they all have dilithium? Is everything going to be okay? So I'm looking forward to check that out. I am looking forward to see this Cardassian human woman that's on the show, because I love that actor. She was on what's that Amazon show? The Man in the High Castle.
Oh,
you know, she was one of the main. Oh, you should watch it. It's so good. She's one of the main actors on that show, and I think she's fantastic. So she's quite the catch to get on the show. She's very, very talented. So.
You must be talking about Shayla Horsdal.
Sounds about right. I think so. I don't know. I actually don't even know the actor's name.
But that's cool. I mean, I was just intrigued by the thought of like someone who's part Cardassian, part human, which I don't think we've seen before on screen, which is pretty interesting. But that also, I think, tells you about the future and how people are getting together. I've often felt like in Star Trek, it feels like there don't seem to be enough characters that are, part different species, right? It seems like oftentimes we see people that are, full of one species, but I think that's really interesting. One thing also I had noticed the first time is there's a quick shot of a Lorian in a Starfleet uniform, so Morn species.
Oh, I didn't catch that. That's awesome. Which is cool. So yeah, there's like a lot of possibilities for what they can do with Discovery in this
in this world. And I have to say, I really love that the kind of thing that's driving the season is like an astronomical phenomenon. It's a gravitational anomaly. It's this like gigantic thing. It's not, I mean, I guess we'll see if maybe it was artificially created, but maybe it's possible it's a natural thing they have to deal with, which is different than if it's a person as a villain or something like that, right? I think that I find that fascinating, that's kind of what's driving the season. Yeah.
The first thing I thought of was V'ger when they were describing the size. So
5 light years.
Well, I don't know if V'ger's quite as big as 5 light years.
No, V'ger was not that big, but the idea of the massiveness of it just because I think V'ger was like a couple of AUs, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like tens of millions of miles long was V'ger. But 5 light years, I mean, that's bigger than the distance from our sun to the nearest star. That's pretty far, right? It's a long distance. So anyway, I'm intrigued by that. So we'll have to see. And I should note, it did say in the trailer 2021. We don't know exactly when, but sometime in 2021. I mean, I guess we're betting maybe later in the year, right?
Yeah, probably after, I would say definitely after Lower Decks.
After Lower Decks, which
like it just says later in the year, so like I think we're gonna get some Trek Ranks podcast. Jim Morehouse tweeted out, he's like, if you do this by these weeks, it's 52 weeks straight of Star Trek that we could be getting here, right?
I don't know if they'll do that, actually. I think they might have a break somewhere.
That's what they wanted to do. CBS wanted to be running Star Trek weekly. That was their plan.
Right.
And so if we start this in August, right? So let's just say we go 10 episodes for, what do they say, August 12th? So if we
August 12th for Lower Decks, which I haven't talked about yet, but go ahead.
Let's just say Prodigy starts on October 21st. Okay, and let's say Prodigy's 10 episodes. I think they've even announced that Prodigy's going to be 10
I think
episodes.
It's going to be 10 as well, yeah.
And if Discovery starts on December 30th, that's still meeting the 2021 date.
Barely.
Just barely, right? But even there, so
I'm going to dispute
with 2022.
What Jim from Trek Rank said in that. I don't know that we know that Discovery Season 4 is 12 episodes. I think it could very well be 10. But
even if it's 10, still, right?
Yeah,
then we got...
So here's the thing about it, though. I know we got 23 straight weeks of Star Trek, right? But I think there is an advantage to having some little breaks in there for promotion of the different shows and not necessarily have it going all the time. But I think the real intention they have is not necessarily to have it on like every week of the year for the rest of our lives. I think they want to make sure to have at least one show every quarter that's new, and a quarter is 12 weeks. So I could easily see it as 10 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 10 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and go like that.
You're only saying that because you're a podcaster.
But I think it works from a promotional standpoint as well. But anyway, we'll see what happens. But Discovery later in 2021, which is exciting, right?
Yeah.
I'm still of the opinion that they might run Prodigy at the same time as something else. Because
I'm not sure about that, because I think they did say they didn't want to run things at the same time, but that could change.
Yes, the audience for Prodigy is an extremely different audience, right? So if they did overlap, that would be the one that would overlap.
Yeah,
I could see that.
The other ones wouldn't, for sure.
All right, so excited about Discovery, and we'll get more. But moving on, because there's still so much more.
Oh yes,
we also had a panel called the Second Contact panel, but we got a new trailer for Lower Decks in which it said that Season 2 drops August 12th, and we also got news it was being renewed for Season 3. Now, as far as the Lower Decks trailer, I'll admit, I think I only saw it once, and I noticed that there's, lots of crazy stuff happening, but there's also the Titan and Boimler, which is cool. That's my only description of it because I just saw it once. But Chrissy, what did you think of this trailer for Lower Decks?
Contain your excitement, Justin. Okay,
I know.
Jeez.
I know. I described in great detail the Picard and Discovery one, so you can probably tell where my enthusiasm lies. And listeners who have heard what I thought about Lower Decks, I'm not much of a fan of the show. Of course, I'm going to give the second season a chance, but I didn't like a lot of the episodes.
You're going to give the third
season
a chance too, buddy. Okay.
I will. I know we have to podcast about it and watch. No, sorry. I know there are lots of listeners that love it, and I do appreciate that. But my honest opinion, I'm not that into it currently. But Chrissy, as someone who's more a fan of Lower Decks than I am, what did you think of the trailer?
I loved it. I thought it was great. I love how they have Tendi and Rutherford and Mariner in one place, and then there's that, I wonder what Boimler's doing. He's the only thing missing. And then you go over to Titan, and he's very flustered and very Boimler, and that's fun. And I love that we're going to see Ambojitsu again. I'm
that looks cool.
Kind of hoping that Mariner is going to be Ambojitsuing with Riker. That would be funny.
You know what? I would be really disappointed, though, if we don't see Parisi squares. We have never seen them actually play Parisi squares, but we have seen Ambojitsu.
Excellent point. I would love to see Parisi squares. I want to know why it's so dangerous.
Yeah, because they keep talking in TNG about it, and it's like...
I mean, the doctor's daughter was killed by Parisi
that'd be perfect
squares.
For Lower Decks to talk about. But,
yeah, and they could make it they could make it look really crazy because they can do anything with animation. Yeah. So it's... it could be, you could have squares that are like different gravity levels. It could look like Fall Guys.
It could be a really crazy, I could imagine in Lower Decks, it could be a really crazy thing like Parisi squares has to take place within a chronoton field, around a 4-dimensional subspace inversion or something like that. Meanwhile, this little pocket is in another alternate universe traveling at like warp 9.999 or something. Like you could do something totally absurd, which I'd love to see. Anyway, so Brandon, what did you think of the Lower Decks trailer?
I mean, it was only 30 seconds long, right?
Yeah, it was pretty short.
So, I mean, it was quick and there wasn't much there, and which is kind of surprising considering that's the one that's going to be airing next, right? So, I mean... Yeah. The season's probably done being made or pretty darn close to it. So
maybe there's just so many surprises they can't give us more than 30 seconds right now.
Yeah. So we'll see where it goes. I think that it's going to be very exciting to get some stuff on the Titan.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I'm excited about that.
Honestly, that's kind of what I'm looking forward to seeing the most.
That's okay. I feel the same way. Let's see Christine Vale on the Titan, right?
Yes. And her many different colors of hair. She was always changing her hair color, right?
She was always changing her hair color in the novels. Yeah. So, yeah. But I'm with you, Brad, and I'm kind of excited about the Titan. I'm like, ooh, get to explore more of that. So, anything else we want to say about Lower Decks? It was a short trailer, but it's cool that it's coming in August and has its chance at redemption with me. We'll see what happens.
I don't think you're going to like it.
Oh, you're playing reverse psychology. If you say you don't think I like it, I think I'll probably like it.
You're going to hate it.
Yeah, it's going to be terrible. We're going to have to drag you kicking and screaming to the Zoom meeting.
Challenge accepted. Awesome. There were a couple of other things from all of those First Contact Day panels. So one of the things we did get a first look at is animated Janeway, and we also got some more information about Star Trek Prodigy. I think we knew before that, it's kind of a group of teenagers who find a derelict starship and they go and explore the universe, right? And we knew that Janeway is part of this, but we found out that she's actually an emergency training hologram, and that the show takes place in 2383 in the Delta Quadrant, which I think bolsters... your idea, Brandon, that one of the guys we see is a Talaxian.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of surprised we didn't get a trailer. And I don't know if they even confirmed it would be 2021, but it's cool to see the animated Janeway and to know the emergency training hologram. I think people were speculating about the ship that they're on, that it might be the Aero shuttle that got lost from Voyager. Maybe that's around somewhere and has an emergency training hologram or something. But Chrissy, what did you kind of think about what we found out about the setting and seeing the animated Janeway and all that?
I am really looking forward to this. I think I feel like I read somewhere that somebody suggested that she might be a hologram, and that's why she's still captain and not admiral. So it was nice to see that that leak or whatever that idea came true.
I just want to mention an idea I really like, which is just because we have the holographic Janeway doesn't mean that it is impossible to get Admiral Janeway in some way, maybe on a slipstream ship visiting the Delta Quadrant or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like happens in Full Circle novels. But
definitely.
But yeah, there had been some speculation about she's a hologram, and she is, which I think is fine. It's an interesting idea.
I think it would be interesting to get a connection with the Doctor's emergency command hologram. I think it would be a mistake if we don't hear Robert Picardo's voice on this at some point.
Okay. But where do you think, what is this ship that has Janeway as the hologram?
It doesn't even. I think it doesn't even have to be a Starfleet ship. It could just be that the holographic equipment was there. That they could have installed.
Or maybe something got stolen from Voyager.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
I think they found Geordi's mom's ship.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of dark, potentially.
I don't think they found Geordi's mom's ship.
No, I don't.
By the way, I didn't realize that was addressed in the novels until recently. Have you read Indistinguishable from Magic?
Yeah, okay. I have.
I forgot about that.
Pretty interesting.
That book is crazy because it literally feels like 2 books.
It's there's a lot of fun stuff, but it's a totally insane book.
Yeah, it is.
Seela's in it and everything. Like it's freaking bonkers.
It's like, what is happening? And Scotty's in it too. Anyway, but yeah. So sorry, I don't know if I had asked you, Brandon, like your general thoughts.
I'm not sure I feel about Janeway being a hologram. I mean, I want Janeway, I realize this is an animated show, but I was like hoping to see more Janeway, like Admiral Janeway is what I was hoping to see. So, I mean, it'll be fine, and it's Kate Mulgrew's voice. We all know that, but I'm gonna watch it for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing it. But that was my initial thing. I was like, oh, she's a hologram. Oh.
I admit I was a little disappointed. I was like, oh, I wish it was, Janeway and not the Janeway hologram. But I think there's some interesting places to go. But also, I think that definitely does mean the focus will be on kind of the kids or teens in this show and getting to know them and who they are. And this Janeway hologram, I would think, just every once in a while is there to help guide them. maybe it'll give some, some lessons in how to fly the ship or how to tend to the warp core or something.
Make a cup of coffee.
It could be interesting.
I think I don't know how they could have done it with her as Janeway actually being there or being around, because then there would be some kind of connection to people who could say, hey, why are these children running a ship and we need to go collect them and take care of this. So
it could have been as simple as they were former Borg children. I mean, like just something like that, right? They rescued them or whatever, like something like that. Or, I mean, she and Chakotay had gone on a mission afterwards to go and find the rubber tree people, and Chakotay died. And, these are just people that she found along the way, and they're helping her get back home, taking Chakotay's corpse back home.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
Okay, then.
My mind went a different way. Like, they could have, I know this is just saying what it could have been, but it could have been something, well, I don't know if that would even work. that she's just on some experimental ship that all of a sudden gets lost in the Delta Quadrant, but that would be weird.
What if she's become the Borg Queen and wants to and is trying to assimilate these kids?
You're bringing the books back in again.
Yeah.
Well,
I was
going to say, you can't have her somewhere where she could be the top of the command structure, because then it's not focused on the kids. So it has to be that she's there, but she's not really.
Yeah, but I mean, also, if we think about it, is there the possibility that this hologram might have a mobile emitter or something like it and can actually walk around on the ship or go on away missions or whatever?
Of course,
that'd be cool. Yeah. So the way I look at it is, you could also say the Doctor's only a hologram, but he's so much more than that, right? And there's so much more to his character. And after Future's End, he can just go around all different places. And I think there's still a lot they can do with the character. But
I guess what I was thinking was, if this is, if this is a hologram that is meant to just guide them and teach them, then they can also ignore her. So as opposed to the real Janeway, who'd be like, no, you're not.
Here's the own mom.
Yeah.
Here's the important question, because we see this so many times in Star Trek. Does this training hologram become sentient?
Yeah. Well, okay, so that joke aside, right? If this is Janeway, then whatever character development or whatever happens will not transfer to the real Janeway when we see her at some point again. Right? This is that's why it feels kind of disappointing, because it's not our Janeway, right? It's a facsimile of her. So whatever story happens with this hologram will not apply to our character that we've
I
known
can see that
for this long.
I don't think we're going to see her often enough to have character development. I think
I'm
this
sure
is a
she'll
hook
be there
to get
every
adults
episode.
to watch. Well, yeah,
I'm sure
but
she'll be there every episode.
it'll be like, here's your mission for the day. You know?
Right.
So,
Yeah. Okay. But we'll find out more. So we just found out a little bit, and I think, yeah, there maybe are some limitations for what you can get from Janeway, but I'm actually most excited to learn about these children, like who they are, where they've come from, how they think about things, and their background, where they want to go, and all that. So I'm kind of excited about that. So we shall find out more. All right. So I think that's all for the shows, but there were a couple of other things, since we have time, to talk about here for briefly. So one of the things, I think it had been announced previously, but not that it was coming to Paramount Plus. So this is the Woman in Motion Nichelle Nichols documentary, which is coming to Paramount Plus on June 3rd. And there was a little trailer about it, and it's basic, and I'll just describe it here from the Trek movie article. It tells the inspiring true story of how Star Trek's Nichelle Nichols worked with NASA to recruit people of color and women into the program starting in the 1970s. Did you guys see the trailer for this?
I didn't. No,
I didn't either.
It looks really interesting, and it's very well done. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Now it says coming to Paramount Plus. I don't know how you'll see it, Brandon, but I think it looked really interesting, and it's really trying. And there was a panel that was all about this, and they were just talking about recognizing Nichelle Nichols' influence in recruiting people into NASA and how people thought about the space program and all that. So I think it's really cool, and I'm definitely looking forward to watching it when it comes out in June.
I saw
and maybe go ahead.
Finish.
No, I was going to say, and maybe we can talk about it on this show, but go ahead.
Yeah, I think we should try to make an effort to try to make an effort. Yeah, I think we should try to do that. in fewer words, I saw the tail end of the panel, and the outpouring of love for her was just beautiful, and I think it's wonderful how they were all like, well, we're here because of her,
Yeah.
And I just like that a lot.
Yeah, and I saw most of the panel, and they were talking about how much of an inspiration that she was, because there were different people on the panel. Some of them had seen the original series and were inspired by that, and some found out about her later, or in Sonequa Martin Green's case, got to meet her later and talk with her and all that. Yeah. So I think it's cool. But Brandon, any other thoughts on this?
I couldn't picture a person more deserving of having a documentary than Nichelle Nichols.
Yeah,
so I think, yeah.
Well said.
So I'm looking forward to seeing this, and I think it's going to be wonderful.
Definitely. So one more piece of news came out of First Contact Day yesterday. So there will be an official Star Trek convention, Mission Chicago, in the spring of 2022, so April 8th to the 10th at Chicago's McCormick Place Convention Center. Now, of course, we have Star Trek Las Vegas, which is not really as official anymore, but this seems to be an official convention that's coming in April, and that it will travel from city to city each year. So maybe I'll ask, I think, Chrissie, you're the person that's closest to Chicago.
Yeah,
what did you think about this news?
I'm excited that there's going to be a convention within a reasonable driving distance.
So how long would it take you to drive there?
5 hours.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, that's like the Midwestern, like, why fly? You can drive. It's only 5 hours, But, yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to go to STLV, but it wasn't in the cards, as it were, with money. And I'm hoping that I'll have a sufficient amount of teaching work in the next year that I can squirrel enough away to go to this. So.
Yeah, but you've been to other Star Trek conventions, right?
I have been to 3, but it was all as a child. I saw George Takei at a brand new conference center that was built in Flint, Michigan, in '91, and it was when they were doing everything for the 50th anniversary. And then I saw John Delancey.
You mean the 25th anniversary?
Excuse me, 25th anniversary.
That's okay. I said Discovery Season 1 and 2. So.
You know what? Numbers don't mean anything today. That's just fine. It's all good. Yep. Okay. Your turn next,
I had to think about it for a second.
I literally didn't even hear what I said. I was just for the anniversary. Anyway, so I saw him there, and then the next year they had John Delancey at the same venue. And then I saw William Shatner from very far away in Detroit in maybe like 93, 94, somewhere in there. I remember buying a T-shirt there that was the Deep Space Nine excuse T-shirt. And
sorry, what Deep Space Nine
excuse T-shirt? Yeah, it was a black T-shirt. It had an outline of DS9 on it, and then it had reasons you couldn't do things that were related to DS9, like Odo can't find his bucket. I can't help you because Odo can't find his bucket. I have to go help him. There was one of the one that sticks in my head the most is Bashir's getting amorous again, and I'm like. I just, it was fun. And then there was a TNG one too, and I don't remember anything that was on that. But yeah, that's my memory of that convention. Not seeing Shatner buying a T-shirt.
That's funny.
But yeah, so I haven't been to a convention since, as an adult, period. And I'm looking forward to this. Yeah. Well, you know what? Here's going to be the kicker thing. This is in April. Usually in May, we go to the International Medieval Congress in Kalamazoo at Western Michigan. And so we're going to have to try to figure out how we can do both. At least for the Kalamazoo, we have friends who live down there, so we don't have to worry about a hotel, but got to finagle it.
By the way, I was able to look up the TNG excuse shirt.
Oh, you found, awesome. Okay.
I'll just mention a few things that are on it. Troy senses danger.
Yes.
My communicator's not working. Trying to avoid Loxana Troy.
Yes.
What does that one say? It's a
little
hard to read.
Holodeck.
Fencing with Picard.
Yep.
Playing Stratagema. Q's visiting again. Let's see what else here. Romulans cross the neutral zone. It's stuff like that. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it was. I wore those every chance I could get, and I don't even. But that's I think they fell
cool
apart.
Because I've never heard of this excuse shirt.
Neither have I.
There's one for TOS 2, recovering from a Vulcan nerve pinch. Ooh. It's contrary to the Prime Directive. Don't have orders from Starfleet. Transporter malfunction. My tribbles are breeding. Stuff like that. So, vacationing on Genesis. I like that one.
That's good.
I've got a poster on my wall, like it's a framed plaque thing, and I know you could get it as a poster, and it was like everything about life I learned from watching Star Trek. And
yeah.
I love that one.
That was a common one, but yeah.
So, Brendan, what do you think about this official convention coming?
I mean, tentatively, I'm planning on going. I mean, I still have my money saved up from the 2020 convention that I was supposed to go to, right, in Vegas, and I don't, like, they've recently announced the July convention in Vancouver for July of 21 has been canceled. The one that Creation was supposed to be doing. Yeah. So they've announced that one's been canceled. And I know some people in Chicago, so I'd like to go and visit them, and I'd like to see Chicago. I've never been to Chicago, so I'm tentatively planning on going. I mean, the vaccine rollout here in Canada is pretty slow and pretty pathetic right now, but
by April 2022, I
should get my shots in the next year, right? I mean, my mom just got her first shot, and they're telling her flat out, to not expect her second shot for 4 months, right? Like, it's pathetic up here.
Terrible, yeah.
So I mean, and I've heard it's not good to wait that long.
No, you're not supposed to wait more than about 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, we'll see what happens, but tentatively, I'll see you down there, Chrissy. Hopefully, so
make this happen.
Justin.
Let me just. I could talk about whether or not I'm going to this thing.
Well, okay, fine.
What were you gonna say?
Well, I was just gonna say because, like, from friends from the former Trek FM, and they're on the Nerd Party, right? Tristan Riddell and Mike Schindler, they're from Chicago, so. They're in that area, so I'm going to see them.
Absolutely. So
John Tenuto.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't even. If we play this right, we can just invade people's houses.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what? I expect that you'll have a conversation with John Tenuto about Lower Decks and all his problems with it.
We'll do a live commentary for the pilot episode of Lower Decks on stage.
That would be hilarious.
So. Yeah, so for me, I've been to STLV. I went in 2017, 18, and 19. I really enjoyed it. Conventions can be expensive to go to travel and to buy the tickets and all of that. So because of that, I was actually, even before the pandemic, planning on not attending in 2020. And for this one that's in 2021, I think I won't attend it. I mean, part of it is the expense, and also, you know, I don't think I've mentioned this on this podcast, but I've mentioned it on, you know, social media. I'm part of, with my wife and a friend, a music label that we started recently, and we're working on producing music, and, you know, we all invest in stuff to get stuff out there. So that's kind of where some of my extra money is going instead of convention.
With good reason.
However, I mean, if this convention travels and it comes to El Paso, I will go and I will see all you guys there. But Brandon has made an appointment as well to see me in 3 years when there's a total solar eclipse in Texas, right?
Hopefully. That's the plan. That's the plan.
I'll at least see you then.
The good thing that I think about this is that they're planning on rotating cities, because honestly,
yeah, I think that is
it
good.
was a pain in the ass that it was always in Vegas. Like,
Yeah.
from Regina here, it's brutal to get to Vegas, man. It's really brutal to get
a long
down there,
time,
and it's
yeah.
very expensive.
And it's
like,
very hot.
yeah, it's expensive to fly there for me, and it takes a long time. There's very few direct routes. We generally have to fly through another city to get there. You know, I'm sure it's going to be the same to go to Chicago, but
Chicago's closer, at least.
Yeah, so not much closer. I mean, I looked. I'm like, maybe I could drive, but it's still like a 17-hour drive to Chicago from here.
Oh, okay, interesting. But that's cool. I hope you guys do get to go. I probably won't be there, unfortunately. But yeah, I am looking forward to them rotating cities and see kind of where they go to. And listeners, you know, if you go to that one, you can look forward to at least seeing possibly Brandon and Chrissy. So I'll watch you guys vicariously.
Come and say hello.
Yeah. Yeah, and totally random plug, if you're in Chicago, the Field Museum is where Sue the T-Rex is, and so you should definitely make plans to go see that.
Oh yeah, I have been to Chicago once, and the Field Museum is amazing. It's a ginormous place with so much great natural history stuff. Yeah, there's lots of great stuff in Chicago. Yeah. It's a huge city. Yeah. It was my impression when I was there. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. So anyway, that was all the news from First Contact Day. Listeners, let us know if you missed anything or your thoughts on any of the trailers or all the other stuff that happened. Was there anything that I missed, guys? Any like little bits that you were interested in, or
we haven't talked about the Strange New Worlds trailer yet.
Oh, have you traveled to the future to see it? Yeah. I know
it was
that
on
is
a secret link on their webpage. You didn't see it?
That was conspicuously missing, yes.
Yeah, that was definitely missing, but I mean, like Picard, they have just started filming. I mean, I guess they could have done a teaser, but maybe they don't have like a big name guest like Q or something like that. But yeah, I expect with Strange New Worlds, it'll come in 2022, and that maybe we'll get like a trailer for Star Trek Day in September, something like that.
That's a pretty safe bet that it'll be coming in 2022. They're just
well, unless they're going to do it like the old days and just start putting the episodes out while they're filming, like they used to.
Yeah, right.
I don't think they'll do that. They put them out while they're editing them, but
yeah. No,
it's such a different world. But yeah, I did think about that. Like, it would have been nice to get something Strange New Worlds, but we did get some casting announcements. So
yeah. So one of the things I really appreciate about this and what they did for Star Trek Day in September was involving Mika Burton and having Will Wheaton hosting this. And
they were great together.
They're wonderful. And the joke about how First Contact is older than Mika Burton, it was, I'm trying to think of how he said it. He said something about like First Contact premiered before Mika Burton or something like that. And then having people of that cohort, and I feel like it is moving to forgive because I can't think of any other way to say it, to the next generation, right? And so you have this, and you have this connection because they're talking with Patrick Stewart, and while he is of actual TNG, he is of the older generation, and then Wheaton is like this intermediary, and then you have Mika Burton, you have people like Tawny Newsome, all the people that are on the newer shows that are younger. And I just, I love to see that because it means that, morbid, as people die, it's not going to disappear. It's
going to keep going.
There's other people
I think so. Like, as we get, more shows, that helps to keep it going and gets more fans. And the people that are involved in these shows are of all ages. I mean, you're right. There are people that are pretty young, like in their 20s in these shows. And there's Patrick Stewart, who's 80 years old, and people all in between. It's been like, if you look across the different shows that are in production, it's very diverse, I think, in terms of the content and the people that are making it and the people that are participating in it. So yeah, that gives me a lot of hope for kind of its message and to continue long into the future.
Yeah, in good hands too, because it's not just people who are just there. These are people who really love it. You hear Michelle Hurd talking about that, and people like Tawny Newsome. I mean, Tawny Newsome hosts the podcast, which is funny.
Right.
Yeah. And I think one last note: we need to see Will Wheaton. We need to see Wesley on Picard at some point before this is over, because
you think so?
Because that would. Where he was left was not a good place, and we need to fix that. And a lot of that had to do with what his Wheaton's situation was in his life, and all of the other stuff that was going on. And I think we need to fix that. We need to have a reverse of Kes coming back to Voyager.
Well, we might see him in Lower Decks, because on a deleted scene from Star Trek Nemesis, didn't they say he was going to the Titan?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. There's a deleted scene in Nemesis.
There's a deleted scene in Nemesis with Will Wheaton in it.
Well,
right?
I knew that.
And he's like a lieutenant or whatever, and he's on his way to the Titan.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, well, perfect. Okay.
They kind of cover for that in the novels.
Yes, they do.
Giving some reason why that's not true or something like that. But but I don't know. Like,
who cares about the novels?
The scene in the novel is hilarious, because he thinks that he's showing up to the Betazoid wedding, and he's actually in Alaska. And so he shows up naked, and they're like, "We need clothes for you." And so they just grab the closest thing at hand, and it happens to be a lieutenant's dress uniform.
That's in one of the
is it one of the Time 2 novels?
The Time 2 series ones. Yeah.
It's either at the very end or very beginning. Yeah. Anyway, you were saying, Justin, I'm sorry.
So anyway, no. I mean, I think it is really great that we're getting all this content, and we have people, watching it and participating in it that are all, ages and backgrounds, and yeah, it's wonderful. So anyway, I think First Contact Day proved that there's a plethora of great Star Trek stuff that's coming.
Oh, yes.
So listeners, thank you for listening to this bonus episode. Talking about First Contact Day news and panels. Let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear them, and we're looking forward to covering all this stuff. Because this is a bonus episode, I think you know where to find us and what other shows we have on the network. So we'll just say thank you very much for tuning into Infinite Diversity. Thank you to our executive producers, Ken Tripp, Tony Robinson, and Zach Moore. Thank you to Zach Tripp for the wonderful theme music and Tony Robinson for the awesome show art. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, and please subscribe. And you can also support us on Patreon at patreon.com/UFPEarth. And if you want to reach out, you can find the network on Twitter at UFP Earth, or our show specifically at IDIC Podcast. And you can also talk about any and all of the UFP podcasts in our Facebook group, the Federation Council Chambers. Or you can email us at infinitediversity@ufp.earth. On the next episode, we'll be talking about the short trek, The Escape Artist. Until then, peace and long life.
This has been a production of MTMR Media Works.
All right. Well, listeners,
Yay! Yay!
Yay, Star Trek. Yeah.
That's going to sound really terrible in headphones. All right.